California fires for dummies, because apparently y'all need this. Number one, first and foremost, the reason they are not using ocean water to put out these fires is because it would destroy the soil. Soil plus salt equals bad. Which leads me to number two, a lack of water infrastructure in California. The reason there is a complete lack of water infrastructure in California is because Gavin fucking Newsom never went through with building the infrastructure, despite all of Californians overwhelmingly voting on the $7.5 billion bill back in 2014. Even if we wanted to use the ocean water to put out fires, we can't do it because we don't have the resources to. Number three, and this is a biggie, it's not climate change, you just need to clean. Guys, this isn't a new concept. Nature's gonna nature all over the place. Debris will fall to the forest floor and will pile up quickly, and if it's not cleared by necessary controlled burn batches, then Mother Nature will come in and do it herself, which is exactly what's happening now. Which leads me to number four. It is political. Actually, the mayor of LA's decision recently to cut $17 million from the fire department's budget. And we can thank Gavin Newsom for his decision to reroute all of California's water to the ocean in order to prevent a useless fish from going extinct. And here's just a couple honorary mentions. Yes, Gavin, all of those things have happened, and they were very preventable things if it wasn't for your direct negligence. What you should have been focusing on is how to prevent these things from happening instead of now reaching the point where you have to pander for attention now that you let it happen. And for all of you dummies that don't know, the LA mayor, California governor, senators, and the current president and VP are all Democrat. So if you're looking for someone to blame, try the Democrats.
I'm going to be honest. I really like Melly Mouse, not because she looks like my wife, no, but because she has some common sense. Because it makes sense. And why do I want to blame Gavin Newsom? Because you started the bill. You promised to do something about the wildfires, and instead of doing that, you saved a fish.
Mayor, LA County is in a panic state. It began 2 days ago with the Palisades fire. My crew and I arrived shortly after it started, and for several hours we watched as hundreds of homes in a neighborhood burned to the ground. We did not see a single fire engine. We watched as Good Samaritans guided traffic. There was fear and there was a lot of confusion. You were out of the country at the time. Shortly after the fire started, a press release was put out warning of this fire behavior. My question to you is, what explains this lack of preparation and rapid response?
Let me just say, first and foremost, my number one focus, and I think the focus of all of us here with one voice, is that we have to protect lives, we have to save lives, and we have to save homes. Rest assured that let me finish. Rest assured, when that is done.
I'm not saying that she's wrong. I'm just saying the lack of accountability will never address the thing that's wrong. Because you were supposed to solve this since 2014. But it seems to be more important to have the first black mayor. It's the intention that counts. I don't like that when people's lives are in danger.
So I am evacuating my home, and it's so hard to leave the podcast studio behind. I know that's sounds insane, but I have everything, like my son's birth certificate, but just to leave all this, podcast studio is such a big deal to me because it connected me to so many of you guys, and just to give you an idea, this is the podcast studio, and then I don't know if you can see, so it's pretty close, I don't know what I'm gonna lose, but it's weirdly you really find out what matters to you when you have to evacuate. I'm not taking the cameras. I'm just taking little trinkets and stuff that you guys gave me at shows, and
I hope this is an awakening for you to be like, hey Gavin, you gotta do a better job. Because to save a bunch of fish that needed the water, guess what? Maybe those fish are dead for sure. Because everything is burned down. Remember to subscribe. Then again, there are worse things out there. They actually sent an accidental evacuation message to the whole county of California, and then they had to apologize. It was a mistake because remember, it's the intention that counts. If I can't trust your warning message, can I be shocked?
Yeah, we were just talking about the wildfire situation and how crazy it is that they spent $24 billion last year on the homeless.
Yeah.
And what did they spend on preventing these wildfires?
Zero.
Not zip.
Zip. And in 2019, I think Newsom said, I'm going to take care of the forests and maintain the forests and do all that kind of stuff. He didn't do anything.
Didn't do anything. And then on top of that, they cut the water off.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it's all funny. And then I think all our tax dollars probably went for Gavin's hair gel. I don't know, but it's like, it's sad. It's like the place is just on fire.
Well, the whole state is just so poorly managed. It's so it's so frustrating and confusing. And then he gets on TV and pretends like everything's great. Mm-hmm. And California's the best. We have the best state. We have the most amazing economy. And you're out of your fucking mind, dude. You've ruined this state. Personally ruined it.
Well, it's the same team that was up in San Francisco, and they came down to L.A., and they're doing what they did in San Francisco. And
yeah,
San Francisco's kind of like apocalyptic now,
Yeah.
I went there, and it's just like people, homeless. It's a mess.
It's just unbelievable that society can crumble that quickly.
Mm-hmm.
Really is unbelievable.
It doesn't take long.
No.
People that think like this remind me of people that try to help me. And because I listened to them, I failed. And I get angry, and they get angry that their plan failed for me. As if it's my fault. But then when I want to do something else, they act as if I'm betraying them for me listening to their plan that failed me. And I'm like, no, I want to fail by myself. And they're like, well, I know better than you. You didn't do the research. You didn't study. I'm the governor. But please vote for me. And when I don't want to vote for them, I'm transphobic, I'm anti-LGBT, anything anti to prove their narrative.
You want to see somebody that responds to your house, your emergency, whether it's a medical call or a fire call, that looks like you. It gives that person a little bit more ease, knowing that somebody might understand their situation better. Is she strong enough to do this? Or you couldn't carry my husband out of a fire, which my response is, he got himself in the wrong place if I have to carry him out of a fire. You want to see somebody that...
With all due respect, I don't care if the person is black. I don't care if the person have one eye so I can relate to the person. And the fact that you might have a snarky comment is if I need to carry you to get you out of a fire, maybe you shouldn't be there. I'm like, isn't that victim blaming? I'm like, whoa. I just want somebody that can carry me. I'm more than 6 foot. I weigh about almost 80 kilos. You have to have the strength to get me out of there.
I hope they've taught you how to knock down doors. In you go. As high as you can. Yeah.
Take a bigger run up. She's a hard lady.
Good. Under the elbow. Big run as fast as you can. And high. Come out.
That's such a great effort. Yeah, I think just 2 more throws and you would have been there, but that's tough for you.
A man with no firefighter training has no trouble with the same task.
It's a bit of an ousty one, I think. Be aiming higher.
A woman can actually fail the physical component of the fireman test and still become a firewoman to meet female quotas.
I would make an exception for that lady if all the other ladies said, hey lady, I guess you're going to have to hit the gym, but you give it to the door. At least you're accountable for some part. But being not accountable, that's a wild statement. Next time they need to put a sound effect of a burning person screaming, help me. Maybe she would, actually run and give it all to lower that door.
We ran out of water in the first tank about 4:45 p.m. yesterday. We ran out of water in the second tank about 8:30 p.m. and the third tank about 3 a.m. this morning. Those tanks help with the pressure on the fire hydrants and the hills of Palisades. And because we were pushing so much water in our trunk line, and so much water was being used before it can get to the tanks, we were not able to fill the tanks fast enough. So the consumption of water was faster than we can provide water in our trunk line. So I want to make sure that you understand there's water on the trunk line. It just cannot get up the hill because we cannot fill the tanks fast enough.
What is the number of hydrants that could not get water because of these pressure issues? What percentage of the system in Pacific Palisades wasn't getting service at that point?
We were trying to keep water at all altitudes on the Palisades, and I think about 3 in the morning, that's when the hydrants went dry above the Brentwood area. We are able to push water on that trunk line on the east side of that. And we have some water on higher elevations, 16 to 18,000, but at 3,000, at 3 a.m., all of the fire hydrants went dry in the Palisades. What are we doing now? We're sending about 20 water tanks for our construction crews full of water to support the fire department. We identify other areas in our system where our tankers can refill. It takes about 30 minutes to refill about 4,000 gallons of water, and we're constantly moving that water to the fire department to get them as much water as we can. For the people on zip code 90272, because we're pushing the water system so hard, our water quality is decreasing. So we're gonna be issuing a boil water notice this morning, and that will extend for about 48 hours. The water quality is low. We have a lot of ash in the system. And so please, if you're gonna be drinking water, you need to boil the water. Those boiled waters will continue to increase as the system starts restoring.
Making sure there is water for firefighter is an important job. If you don't pay someone $750,000, you could end up having an entire neighborhood burned down. Does she deserve that much money for that job?
Don't get me wrong, ako sa kitabang Puta fire na mi blonde kush hash purple skunk criollo colombici jam jam turlo verde ta welcome